Welcome. So nice to see people, to see everyone popping up on the feed, and to feel you across the heart waves. This is a special way that we get to connect through social media, and I really appreciate it. So today we are doing a Facebook Live on mentoring with Hathor and Isis, two Ascended Master mentors that I have have so much to thank for, so much gratitude for in my own journey as a divine feminine leader, and with the Sophia Code movement. I never could have completed the Sophia Code, writing it, without either of them, and I never would have started the mystery school for the Sophia Code movement without either Isis and Hathor. And that's to say that when you are being called to step into your divine purpose, when you are being asked to create something that maybe it's never been created before, as we talk about in the Stargate 2 curriculum, so many resistances, so many internal blocks can come up along the way that can keep you from experiencing your highest potential. And I'm here to tell you that when you mentor with Ascended Masters, their crystalline resonance, their absolute belief in you, they're never going to give up on you, and they're never going to stop telling you about your highest potential. When you take the time to resource guides such as these, no matter how strong your resistances are to what you came here to fulfill in this lifetime, you will fulfill it one way or another. I can assure you. It might not happen all at once, may not happen overnight, but it will happen one self-loving step at a time. So I just wanted to open our Facebook Live with that message that if you've been feeling resistances to being seen, if you've been feeling sensitive or vulnerable about leading, maybe you have stepped forward in your leadership and it's just been a sensitive heart space for you over this summer about that. We did just complete our certification program for this year. So I know that many of you have been exploring some of the activation steps, the self-mastery activation steps that the Sophia Circle certification program walks you through. And each step does ask us to become more and more vulnerable and humble to our own sovereign divinity. I think a lot of people would consider that an oxymoron, becoming humble to your sovereign creative power. But that is actually what happens when you choose to take responsibility for your sovereign creative power. When you touch into that Holy Spirit fire within you, when you touch into your higher self's intelligence that's orchestrating reality on behalf of your role that you've come here to play as part of the grand divine plan that we're all a part of for the activation of humanity, when you touch into that fire, when you touch into that creative power within you, it actually humbles us. It's not to be afraid of. It's actually a fire to run directly into, because it's a fire that will purify you of all of the fears that you may have about being in your ego structure with leadership. If you are leading from Christ consciousness, if you are leading from a true heart-centered space, that you know there's a calling within you, that you are being called into divine service, being an embodied way shower, serving the hearts and minds of others in their awakening, you're only ever going to step into more power, as simultaneously you're going to become more and more humble in the journey of embodying even more of your power. And that is really reassuring for us when we are contemplating what it means to step into the spotlight of being seen in our divine purpose and being seen as leaders of this consciousness. So that's a little bit about what we will be diving into in the Sedona Leadership Conference this October. And I'm going to be answering a few questions that we've received about the Sedona Conference during this live broadcast. We're also going to be giving away the Hathor Pendant, the Hathor Flower of Life Stargate Medallion. This is a pendant from a two-sided pendant from my Embody Your Sovereignty collection. Each pendant is hand-carved from the designs that I personally illustrated and channeled from the Ascended Masters as amulets and talismans of empowerment and activation for your body, heart, and mind. So just adjusting this here. I have a lot of sunscreen on my skin today. Okay, so stay tuned because we'll be giving away the beautiful medallion at the end of our live broadcast. And I think it would be a good place to begin with an invocation. I think we have enough of us that have arrived for today's Facebook Live that it would be great to set the sacred space together. This is a sanctuary space. Wherever and whenever I choose to share this transmission, I'm choosing to do so through the ceremonial context of a sanctuary, whether that's a sanctuary of virtual space or a sanctuary of physical space. I'm praying about the space that you and I share before I even get here on this live broadcast. And I'm praying about this space after the broadcast. And there are people praying about this sacred space and this sanctuary space right now, even as we're together in this moment. There have been prayers being made about this all week long. So what happens when you pray and you create sacred space like that as a leader? It means that other people can experience the sanctuary of their own sacred space. And that's why we do anything at all in this Sophia Code movement in our mystery school. We create the sanctuary of sacred space so that you can reconcile and empower yourself in your own sacred space, in your own heart communion with what is sacred to you. So I'm going to read an invocation that sets our sacred space with the Ascended Masters. And this invocation, I'm going to actually read it from an excerpt from our Sophia Circle Leadership Manual. So this is the invocation that every Sophia Circle leader would read when they would open up a Sophia Circle. And if you'd like to learn more about our leadership certification program, we're going to be launching the next round of training in 2020. You can learn more about that on my website, kaia.com. And you can also schedule a free call with our beautiful team angel, Ashley, who's on our feed. She's happy to wave and say hello to you. So let's just drop in together with what the power of an invocation can do to create sacred space. So, and as for those of you who are completely new, this invocation would be coming from my book, The Sophia Code, the context of this cosmology in the Sophia Code. Holy Mother, Sophia, creatrix of all life. Holy Father, Sophia, creator of all life. I call into the holy black womb and one source light that you are, within us and all around us, sustaining us in the grace of your Sophia Christ consciousness. I call forth your Holy Spirit presence to fall fresh upon each of us as a dove of peace. It is your Sophia Christ consciousness that creates this space that we gather in now. We give thanks that it was your holy light that called forth our High Council of Ascended Master Mentors, the Sophia Dragon Tribe, to mentor us in embodying the truth of our shared and equal sovereign divinity. At this time, we now welcome the first 8 revealed key code mentors of the Sophia Code to create a circle of divine feminine Christ light and empowerment around us. And you can imagine this circle around yourself individually as well as around our virtual sanctuary of space. Joining us in the north, we welcome key code 7. Holy white buffalo woman, she of 1,000 white clouds and thunder beings, to protect our Sophia Circle gathering. I think we should change it to Facebook Live gathering for today. But just for those of you who are just joining us now, we're reading from the invocation that Sophia Circle facilitators get to open every Sophia Circle with. Joining us in the Northeast, we welcome key code 1. Beautiful Isis, she of 1,000 names to guide our Facebook Live experience. Joining us in the East, we welcome Kiko 2, Radiant Hathor, she of 1,000 voices, to activate our sanctuary space during this live broadcast. Joining us in the Southeast, we welcome Kiko 3, Brilliant Green Tara, she of 1,000 stars, to empower our sanctuary space today. Joining us in the South, we welcome Kiko 4, Beloved Mother Mary, she of 1,000 roses, to bless our sanctuary space and activate our hearts. Joining us in the Southwest, we welcome Kiko 5, Holy Mary Magdalene, she of 1,000 angels, to anoint our time together in the sanctuary space. Joining us in the West, we welcome Kiko 6, Beloved Kuan Yin, she of 1,000 waters, to enlighten our sanctuary gathering. And joining us in the Northwest, we welcome Kiko 777, she who births sovereign creators, the Holy Seraphim Order of the Sophia Dragons, whose angelic presence amplifies the countless blessings of what we are here to receive today in the sanctuary space of Sophia Christ consciousness. Beneath us, we welcome the loving presence of Mother Earth, Sophia Gaia, grounding us for this perfect expansion happening now within our Sophia circle. We now fill this sanctuary with our collective I am presence that exists within each of our higher self-consciousness. We lift this gathering up into the 7th plane of pure Sophia Christ consciousness, where instantaneous miracles and divine knowing exists. We surrender into the unconditionally loving divine will of Sophia God, who seeks to prosper us in all ways. We invite the clear presence of the Sophia Source, our beloved Ascended Master Mentors, and our collective I Am Presence, Holy Spirit, to now direct the course of today's live broadcast for the highest and best good of us all. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me in that invocation. I know everyone's really excited about the giveaway. We have our beautiful team of angels are on the feed right now supporting you. They are asking me to remind you of the giveaway rules or steps that you can take to potentially win this beautiful Hathor Stargate medallion. And so the first step is for you to remember to hit like on the Kaia official fan page. So that would be facebook.com/Kaia official. So you would go there first and you would hit the like button right beneath the banner that's sharing with you about our upcoming Sedona Conference. Your next step will be to share this Facebook Live video right now on your wall, on your Facebook wall, and then tag 3 of your friends who have really supported you in stepping into your divine purpose or your spiritual journey over the past year, and just let them know how much you love them and that you're excited about what's happening on this broadcast today. And then the last step is that if you are the winner, you'll need to be present all the way through today's broadcast to the very end to win the pendant, where we'll call out the name of who's actually on the live feed to receive that really exciting opportunity to win the Hathor Pendant today, the Hathor Flower of Life Stargate Medallion. I'm going to share more about this beautiful pendant in a little while. At this moment, though, I'd like to share about well, I'd actually like to read from the Sophia Code. We've got some leadership activations that I'd like for us to step into, and I'd like to do that in the Temple of Isis, actually. Today's live broadcast is overlighted by beautiful Ascended Master Isis and beautiful Ascended Master Hathor. And so, hi, we're so happy that you're here. We're so happy that you're here. Thank you for the beautiful compliment. I really appreciate it so much. So I want to talk a little bit about how Isis and Hathor are exceptional mentors for stepping into your divine purpose, including spiritual leadership. Isis and Hathor, they both ran international mystery schools, ancient mystery schools, when they walked the earth. Now, of course, Hathor was alive much earlier, thousands of years earlier than Isis was. But how Isis mentored with Hathor was that Isis was connecting with Hathor through her oracular training. She was channeling Hathor, and in such a way that she was such an advanced channel that she was experiencing Hathor just as you would experience someone that you love in the physical world. That's how profoundly psychic Isis was. That's how deep her priestess training went. She was an oracle of the highest order, and her work with Hathor, she was being activated and introduced to her work with Hathor at a very young age. Her mother, who was a queen, actually dedicated Isis to the training of Hathor in childhood. So when you're working with Hathor or Isis as a mentor, eventually you're going to find that they work so beautifully together as ascended master mentors. What Hathor is initiating us into is how multidimensional we truly are as human beings. We're so focused on surviving or succeeding in our physical world that we often don't have the time to really connect into just how multidimensional we really are. The truth is that your higher self has human incarnations as well as incarnations that aren't even human all across this universe and even on this planet at the same time. You're living in parallel universes, you're living in parallel realities, you're living all of your lifetimes simultaneously. I actually had a lucid dream just this week about this teaching. And in the lucid dream, I was in one dream sequence, and then I looked as a Stargate was opening up, and it was this circle of light. And my soul asked me to step through the Stargate, that there was somewhere else I needed to go in this lucid dream experience. So I walked through the Stargate right into a kitchen where there was a mother feeding this beautiful little girl that looked nothing like me in a high chair. And the mother was kind of looking at the daughter a bit curiously, intuitively feeling that there was something going on with her daughter that she didn't understand. Well, I heard my higher self in this lucid dream tell me, this is you in another incarnation. This is you as a child, and this is your mother in that incarnation. And you need to tell this mother what you need as a child, sitting in this high chair. And the dream was so lucid and so full body. I knew that I wasn't actually having some kind of unconscious storytelling with myself. I knew I had taken some kind of quantum leap into another reality to meet another version of myself. And that was really interesting for me because that Hathor teaches about that extensively in her chapter in the Sophia Code. This is a really unique lifetime because we are learning how to minister to ourselves, to our own hearts across space and time in our own embodied leadership. So one of the activations that we're going to do today in this Facebook Live, but as well as in Sedona, our upcoming Sedona Leadership Conference, we're going to go way deeper with this level of activation in Sedona. It's the understanding that you've been training lifetimes, parallel lifetimes, to fulfill your divine purpose in this lifetime, to lead in this lifetime, to be seen in this lifetime with all of your gifts and talents. And so I'm sharing that lucid dream because I want to express how fluid our reality is, how fluid physical reality is, that you can not only minister to yourself in other lifetimes simultaneously, you can also call to you all of the training and skills and accomplishments that you've experienced in other lifetimes as well, that you may need in this lifetime to lead in a way that maybe you weren't expecting to. But you're being called forward because we are living at such a pivotal moment in human history. So this is some of these concepts are what we deeply explore in the Sophia Code Mystery School curriculum. And I'm really grateful for everyone hanging in there and exploring these concepts of quantum reality with me. So when you're working with Hathor as a mentor for your leadership, what she's teaching you is how to resource both different aspects of yourself across the universe and in other lifetimes into this lifetime, but also how to resource the Ascended Masters, your guides, your angels, in such a way that they become very physically connected to what you're manifesting in this lifetime, what you're working on, where you are allowing them to do some of this heavy lifting with you for your divine purpose and stepping into the light of being seen as a leader. When Hathor walked the earth, her mystery school extended across half the planet. She was a very successful leader and teacher at a time where they didn't have internet the way we do. They had other technologies, but nonetheless, she was an exceptional mentor on the leading edge of consciousness, and people loved her far and wide for her sincere depth of leadership, and most importantly, how much she was activating the sovereign divinity and the creativity and the beauty way within those who came to learn from her and from her mystery school teachers. So when we're connecting to Hathor as a mentor, we're also connecting into a time on earth that was a true golden age where people were truly honored for all of their gifts and skills, and they were asked to live as exceptional embodiments of those gifts and skills and of their talents and of their heart's calling to lead. Everyone was leading side by side. I think what I have seen often in the conversation about leadership is people often think if I'm leading, then has to be all these other people following. That's not the kind of leadership we are teaching or sharing about in the Sophia Code Mystery School. Leadership is service, and we're all here to serve each other's hearts. And the more that each of us choose to be seen as a way shower of Sophia Christ consciousness, we are learning how to support one another in being this seen and showing up faithfully and willingly to our divine purpose, side by side. So if everyone was leading, doing exactly what they should be doing in their role of fulfilling a divine purpose and playing an important part in everyone's life, we would all actually be leading in a very unique way with very different, unique skills and talents that fit together like a perfect puzzle piece. So this is the kind of leadership that Hathor mentors us in, along with Isis. Now, what's wonderful about Isis, how Isis brings us together through leadership and fulfilling our divine purpose as a mentor. She is so exceptional at helping us get those next steps, those nitty-gritty next steps done that we might have a really strong resistance to. Here's the thing, every time you take a step forward to fulfilling your divine purpose and stepping into the light of being seen as a leader, a way shower, a resource of support, someone that others can say, I know that they're living out what they believe in, and I would like to go to them for support, and there's some way that others can come and actually receive from you the benefits of your embodiment. Leadership could be as simple as that. Although eventually what you find in your higher self embodiment is that you will be called at greater and greater levels into a professional context of service. It might start out just working with people one-on-one, but eventually it will lead to community leadership. And so we'll be focusing a lot on that at the Sedona Conference, how your divine purpose eventually evolves into this spiritual leadership where you're fulfilling the many roles that you came here to fulfill in this lifetime. So Isis knows that every time you take a step forward to be seen even just a little bit more as a resource of support for others, there's a part of you that wants to hold back or resist or even sabotage it. Because every time that you step forward to be seen as a resource of support for others, you're also opening yourself up to the thoughts, opinions, or projections or judgments of others. And this is why we teach that divine feminine Christ leadership is one of the most accelerated pathways to healing up codependency. Because you can't allow what people think about you or how people are going to judge you about how you're going to show up to your purpose. You can't allow those thoughts, opinions, and preferences to stop you from fulfilling your purpose. If you do, you're going to feel really frustrated with yourself. I know what that feeling of frustration can feel like. And that feeling of frustration is never going to, if you're not expanding and growing in your divine purpose and your leadership, that feeling of frustration will continue to present itself to encourage you and put the fire under your butt to keep being seen and to keep growing in how you're leading and to keep showing up to your divine purpose in new and exciting ways. It takes willingness. It takes sometimes downright tenacity to break through those resistances and to continue to show up what your heart knows you're here to do. Now, for those of you who are on today's broadcast and you're wondering, I don't know what my divine purpose is. I know that there's other people on this broadcast that are professionally leading. I don't even know how I fit in here. If you are magnetized to this transmission, if you are here in this moment, know that you have a very powerful divine purpose. There's no other way that you could have been magnetized to this broadcast otherwise. And so we've created the beautiful Mystery School curriculum that we have, which actually leads to Sophia Circle leadership certification. So either way, no matter where you start on this journey with us, it's going to lead you directly into your own divine purpose of helping to activate the sovereign divinity of humanity. So I just want to assure you that there's a reason for you being here, and you don't have to have all the answers for Isis and Hathor to be guiding you. In fact, very often as we discover all of the steps of our divine purpose, those discoveries only happen one aha moment at a time. And as we integrate the next aha moment, as we allow Isis and Hathor to help us spread our wings and take some creative risks, maybe even some quantum leaps in our professional offering, what we discover is that we're far bigger than we give ourselves credit for. We're far stronger than we give ourselves credit for, or far more powerful than we even want to admit most of the time. So let's go directly with Isis and Hathor into the temple of Isis. If you have your copy of the Sophia Code, we're going to do this really easily. As many of you know, I love reading the Sophia Code out loud. Let's do it together. If you have your copy of the Sophia Code, I'd love for you to turn to page 68 to Key Code 1, Isis's Initiation, because it's going to lead us perfectly into the Temple of Isis. And the reason why I'd like to read the Sophia Code out loud to walk us into this space is because the crystalline resonance of the Sophia Code is invincible. And it always sets the frequency to the highest quantum potential for us to receive the greatest amount of activation simultaneously that we can receive from our higher self and the Ascended Masters. So I love to practice reading out loud from the Sophia Code. And we're going to begin with page 68, where Isis is speaking to us in her initiation. You are welcome to read this out loud with me. Isis speaks. Thank you for welcoming me as a mentor, a guide and friend for your heroic human journey. My divine feminine embodiment of sovereign creative power provides a clear mirror for you to recognize the same power within you. Today is ordained by your higher self to dissolve your unconscious commitments to fearing the sovereign power within you. I am Isis, and in the sanctuary of my wings, you are safe to unfurl your own. This is your lifetime to fly free in the vista of your personal sovereignty. I come to you as a loving witness, mentoring your awareness to accept the royal divinity of your soul. You are now ready to receive your higher self, activating the full potential of your divine genome and human body. Allow the words of my sacred heart to guide your awareness in the acceptance that this is your lifetime to shine. Your true nature is holy. Your true nature is joy. Your true nature is peace. Your true nature is the same creative power that birthed the stars above. When your personal power is guided by the pure motives of your sacred heart, you are singing a new reality into form, protected by your own invincible nature. I assure you, it is safe to be seen. It is safe to lead. This is actually where we pulled the words out for the ISIS key code 1 wristlet that you can learn more about on my website. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to lead. We wanted to create that on a wristlet so people would always remember the truth of that from ISIS. You are here to contribute your legacy of love, your heart's vision for heaven on earth, for the dawning of this next golden age. To fulfill your great purpose for being here, you must relinquish small ideas about yourself and believe in your divine, sovereign power to create a new world. My presence is with you now, guiding and blessing this ordained opening to our mentor relationship. You are safe to access my sovereign power, guiding you to embrace your own. For you are ready to be guided by your own divinity now. Wait no longer for the divine inheritance that is already yours. Your destiny calls. Your higher self is ready to activate you now. A translucent pyramid of gold and platinum light rises up from the earth beneath me. The pyramid's foundation anchors upon our concentric circles of amethyst and diamond light. The peak of this pyramid rises 33 feet directly above our crown chakras, instantaneously aligning all of our energy bodies in preparation to release what no longer serves our awareness. As we breathe in, we feel the high frequency shift in the molecules of air all around us. As we breathe out, we resume eye contact with beloved Ascended Master Isis. In her steadfast gaze, we deepen into our breath now, circulating the pyramid's high frequency energy within us. Isis sparkles as she smiles back at us. The feathers of her wings now transform in color from vulture black to pearlescent white. Isis raises her angelic wings high above our heads, opening a stargate of pure, unconditional divine love to now pour through our crown chakras. Our crown chakras now spin open as the mouth of a holy chalice. Unconditional divine love now pours through our crown chakras, flowing down the center of our heads, baptizing our hearts, and filling every cell of our bodies, all the way to our feet. Wave after wave of loving reassurance invites us to deepen into this present moment. Isis guides our awareness to become fluid and flow with these currents of divine love through the rise and fall of our breath. We hear the voice of our higher selves, focusing all of our attention upon our hearts, inviting us to intimately explore the sovereign power of our divinity within our bodies now. We take courage and open to receive a greater awareness of our true selves now. We now also welcome the presence of Hathor to join us for this activation. You may feel Hathor arriving in the temple of Isis with her golden light, her radiant smile. And I'm also welcoming in the Hathor Star Nation into the temple of Isis. And you may feel the presence of everyone on this Facebook call within this beautiful temple of Isis. It's platinum gold light pyramid. And we now lift this pyramid up into the 7th plane. And for those of you who are wondering, is this safe to be this connected to so much light and energy and these ascended masters, I want to assure you that you are worthy of receiving this level of blessings and activations today. We all need this much support to fulfill our divine purpose. This resonance of the ascended master mentors of Isis and Hathor is now filling our sanctuary space with a true depth of confidence in who you are. Do you know that the ascended masters have such a profound confidence in who you really are? There is an altar at the center of this pyramid, and you are being invited to energetically begin to offer to that altar feelings of self-doubt and insecurities. Maybe it's feeling insecure about how you look. Maybe it's feeling insecure about how you speak. Maybe you're feeling insecure about your education or your articulation or your emotional healing. Wherever you feel as though you are not enough or you are broken, Isis is saying it's time to lay it down in the temple of Isis. Here's the thing, friends. It's our broken places. It's the places where we strive to bring our greatest love and acceptance to ourselves. The places within us that don't feel whole, that actually allow for the most love to pour out of us into this world. Very often, how you may feel insecure about your purpose is it's the challenge of loving yourself through those insecurities that brings you into who you are here to serve through your divine purpose and through your leadership. It's very often that it is the people that have been broken the most in this physical world that transmit the greatest light with the greatest humility and the greatest willingness, because they know what it feels like to not feel like they're enough. They know what it feels like to feel as though they're never going to be able to heal the amount of pain that they've suffered. Those are the people that touch us the deepest. And so here in the Temple of Isis, I welcome you to confess to yourself what has been keeping you from feeling comfortable as a leader and a way shower. Maybe it's your relationship with how you think, your mind. Maybe it's your relationship with your emotions. Bring it to the altar and lay it down. There's a beautiful violet flame that is arising out of this altar space at the center of the pyramid. And this beautiful violet flame is also being joined with golden flames from Hathor and beautiful sapphire blue flames from Mother Mary, as well as rainbow flames from the Sophia dragons. And there is a massive clearing that's happening right now on behalf of all of our hearts. And I'm hearing from Isis that it would be really helpful for each of us to say out loud, I am worthy of leading the way. You could just repeat that. I am worthy of leading the way. I am worthy of being seen. My embodiment of Sophia Christ consciousness is good enough. I am good enough. I am whole enough. I am loved enough. The next steps are easily unfolding ahead of me, blessed by the ascended masters, my guardian angels and guides. I am being held and supported behind me, beneath me, above me, and ahead of me. My divine purpose is calling me now. My professional offering is seeking to expand right now through this divine love that's calling me forward. And in this moment, I am choosing willingness, faith, and sobriety to my sovereign creative power to step forward and allow myself to be seen in this much support as a leader and a way shower. And just feeling what those prayers, what those activations, those empowered words from Isis and Hathor coming from this temple of Isis, how it's helping your heart to shift into a place of greater willingness. You know, you can just throw that unworthiness right at the altar if you need to stamp it and just be like, F that, that is not who I really am. Who I really am is holy and powerful and pure. No matter what anyone thinks about me or says about me, that's God's truth between myself and Sophia. And really drop in with, sometimes it does take a righteous anger at the things that have been holding you back in the past. It's a safe place to feel that. If you have felt energies of sabotage just cycling in your mind or cycling in your heart, weight that have been holding you back, just throw them in those flames. Let those flames take care of you. And Hathor is stepping forward in the temple of Isis at this time, and her arms they're stretching out, and from her hands there's being transmitted these rays of Sophia Christ consciousness. And along those rays of light, she's activating every electron within your physical body, in your human form right now, and helping your human awareness, your consciousness to connect to that column of light that is your higher self, as well as many lifetimes that you have fulfilled your divine purpose successfully, where you were seen as a resource of support for others, where you were maybe even an activist or a leader or a teacher or a healer. Maybe you inspired others in other professional fields of interest through how you showed up to your role, and you presented new ideas in your particular fields of interest with your passion or your beliefs or something that you weren't going to back down from. And Hathor is inviting you to feel the magnetics of her presence. She's so divinely feminine and also so divinely balanced with her masculine that you tap into the magnetics of Hathor, blessing your own embodiment right now, blessing your own awareness to feel the magnetics of your own higher self, and call from all of your lifetimes across the space-time continuum. Call upon those lifetimes that can serve you in this lifetime, that you can feel the musculature of what you've accomplished in other lifetimes and bring it back to you. You may feel gateways in your body and your chakras opening up so that you can receive that. It could feel like an electrical current of information that's traveling from different parts of your soul back to your soul, that's having the experience of you in your human form. Hathor teaches us that we have so much more power when we tap into the full power of our oversoul. And our oversoul is responsible, as we find out from Mother Mary in Hathor's chapter in Initiations. Our oversoul is responsible for all of our incarnations that are happening simultaneously. You are not limited to the wisdom and the training and the learning and the knowledge and the life experience of just this lifetime. Through a mystery school consciousness, through the Sophia Christ consciousness, you can access everything that you've ever gained, learned, accomplished, here and now. And if you'd like to repeat this prayer that's coming from Hathor, I invite you to repeat, I now open every cell of my body on all 4 levels of my being, my physical body, my emotional body, my mental body, and all of my spiritual causal bodies to now integrate and receive all of this information, all of these blessings that are being magnetized to me now from every aspect of my soul and every incarnation that exists as a parallel reality that is actually a part of my whole self. I now accept that most of me is far bigger than my human body, and that by accessing the totality of my sovereign divinity, I can do anything in this lifetime. I can accomplish even the most sophisticated and challenging divine purpose, a role of leadership. And I accept that these challenges of my divine purpose and these opportunities to serve through leadership are some of the most accelerated growth potentials that I have access to in this lifetime. And no matter how uncomfortable my experiences of growth may feel, growth is what I'm after here. Because every time I grow, I am experiencing a greater depth and understanding of how unlimited my soul really is within human form. So breathing into that prayer with Hathor. Feeling the magnetics, feeling the confidence that she's transmitting to you. You may feel the back of your heart opening up as well for more of that golden light that Hathor is blessing you with to integrate all the way down your spine and light up the tree of life neurology that your intuitive information is received on through your chakras, through your neurology. Your psychic centers are interlaced with the neurology of your body. You have spiritual meta organs as well as your physical organs, and they are not separate. They are literally interwoven with one another. So caring for your body is very important for fulfilling your divine purpose, because every step of your divine purpose is going to come through your direct communion with your higher self, your ascended masters, your intuition, your highways of intuition. And so in the temple of Isis, I'm witnessing Isis raising her wings, and I'm also witnessing that there are cobra spirit guides that are here standing up completely on high. In ancient Egypt, when ascension activations were happening and people were actually receiving them, cobras would levitate off of the temple floor, and that's why so many cobras are carved that way in ancient Egypt. And so I'm witnessing that right now with the white cobras that are connected to the Sophia dragon tribe and the Sophia dragon lineage. And what I'm witnessing is a third eye activation with Isis and Hathor. Hathor being at the back of your third eye and Isis being at the front of your third eye, so that you can, this is a blessing for seeing yourself more clearly and seeing your role more clearly. Both the importance of why you came and the importance of that fulfilling your divine purpose also provides you the greatest personal growth, and that's a win-win. And to understand that blessing is very, very powerful. When we understand how much we receive out of being in service to others, that's a motivation that is important to have, because you understand that your healing is everyone else's healing. Your opportunity to give is also your opportunity to receive. It's so reciprocal. It's where we find our most authentic experiences of divine love and unconditional forgiveness and unconditional co-creation with God, source, whatever you want to call that. When you choose to serve, when you choose to be seen as a resource of support for others, when you choose to roll up your sleeves and be a part of the solution in this lifetime, you will be abundantly blessed. every step of the way, according to how much you want to let those blessings in, because we actually have a surprising amount of resistances to our blessings. So in our closing activation, divine purpose activation, let's take one more step today in opening up to receive the blessings that are available to us right now. However you are showing up, however people identify, I see how she's serving. I see how she's leading. I see how much she's giving or he's giving. What is one blessing that you can let in? One area of support, one area of fulfillment, one surprising, unexpected gift from heaven. I invite you to just open your palms and breathe into your navel. Breathe into your core. And you may feel Isis or Hathor placing something in your hands energetically. It may be an ankh. It may be something that you've been really praying for. And feel that momentum flowing down through your hands and your heart and your crown chakra. And I welcome you to see these words: I am worthy of these blessings. I am worthy. I am not earning them. This is the reciprocal law of divine service. When I show up to serve others, the universe is able to bless me in unexpected and miraculous ways to keep the balance of service in harmony, both in my body and in this world. There is a divine will orchestrating all of the blessings that I'm here to receive throughout the course of my lifetime. And I now choose to be even more available to these blessings flowing into my life now, including the blessings of more support for my divine purpose. So I invite you to take this moment with Isis and Hathor in this space of divine love and activation and initiation. And I'd like for you to be honest with Isis and Hathor. Show them one area that you may feel intimidated to be seen, or intimidated to take that next step forward in your divine purpose, or to expand to a new level in your divine leadership. I know that recently I've been offered some opportunities to expand and be seen, and I have to say, as excited as I am about them, I don't think I've ever not felt nervous for the next step. I want everyone to know that no matter how long you've been professionally leading, there will always be the next level of your expansion. We talk a lot about that in the Stargate 2 curriculum. And it's completely okay to feel nervous about expanding into more of your service. You might be currently professionally doing one-on-one work with clients, and you've been considering making the leap to leading group experiences, but maybe that's really intimidating for you. That's okay to feel that. Maybe you're just exploring volunteering and discovering what it is that how you do like to serve, and maybe just going out, leaving your house and having a conversation with another volunteer brings you to the edge of your vulnerability. It's like, that's okay. It's not about whether or not we have yucky or challenging feelings that can feel yucky, intimidating or vulnerable. It's that we continue to confess that to our own souls and go anyways and be willing anyways. So allow Isis and Hathor to support you in this moment. And I invite you to hand over one fear, one thing that intimidates you about being seen in your divine purpose, or being seen as a leader, or expanding into more of your leadership, taking it to the next level, going bigger, investing more in yourself. And just as you hand it over, just exhale. Okay. I'm not alone. I'm not the only lonely, weird feeling person in the room, because there's a whole room of people right now. And that's what we experience when we come together in our live community events, such as Sedona coming up in October. We get to be in a room full of leaders that have all of their feelings about leading. We get to be in a room full of people that are actively curious about their divine purpose, but have all of their feelings about it. And we find out that that's okay. We're still going to show up anyways. We're still going to show up anyways. We have faith. We have each other. Love will see us through each step, one step at a time. And in this moment, I invite you to see or visualize or imagine Isis and Hathor smiling back at you, because they're so, so grateful for your willingness to be this honest with them. This is why I love the Sophia Code Cosmology so much. We are taking these masters off of some kind of weird pedestal that keeps them separated from ourselves, and we are working with them eye to eye and heart to heart as our mentors. These loving mentors that believe in your highest potential for this lifetime. And so just accept that they are radiating their love to you through their eyes, through their smile, through their, you might feel a hand on your shoulder, over your heart, blessing you, helping you to just really breathe in and integrate how accepted you are. So interesting. We live in a culture that is designed to teach us that we can't accept ourselves. We can't accept how we look, or we can't accept our own thoughts, or we can't accept our own heart's calling. And it's just like, that's not what the Ascended Masters will tell you. That's not what their resonance brings to you in their mentorship. In the resonance of the Ascended Masters and Sophia Christ Consciousness, what we learn is that we are here to accept ourselves. We are here to know ourselves and to accept ourselves. That's why in the ancient mystery schools, the motto is so often, know thyself. Healer, know thyself. When we come into a relationship with accepting ourselves, it's not as hard to accept that we also came here to lead from being ourself, from being our most authentic self, from being our most authentic embodiment of our higher self, and all of our humanness too. Because our humanness is what makes that higher self embodiment tangible for others. Relatable. Your human journey is a part of your divine purpose. You can't divorce your human journey from your leadership. That would be inauthentic and boring. What you have survived, what you have learned, what you love, what's important to you, how your heart feels, it's all woven into your leadership. So in closing that particular activation space, we now welcome Isis and Hathor, sealing these activations on all 4 levels of your being within all of your chakras, helping your higher self to adjust all of your chakras to the appropriate size for carrying those activations back out into your daily life. And I would like to share a little bit more about how we'll be going deep with Isis and Hathor in Sedona, and then I'm going to share a little bit more about the Hathor Stargate, Flower of Life Stargate Medallion that we're going to be giving away at the end of today's broadcast. So, okay, Isis and Hathor, we have them together for the Sedona Conference, which is happening October 16th and 18th at the Sedona Creative Life Center. And we just finished up our Hawaii Immersive, which was really amazing for us to see how many people came to the Healing Immersive because they wanted to heal. They wanted to feel the wholeness within them so that they could fulfill their purpose and lead. We were surprised how many people came to Hawaii specifically for leadership. And I guess we shouldn't have been surprised, because truly, the Sophia Code community is a community of leaders. It's a community of teachers. It's a community of healers. It's a community of way showers. It's a community of activists. Activism through Sophia Christ consciousness. So In Sedona, you'll be gathering with souls that are just as powerful as you, out there making a difference in the world, whether it's in their daily life or professionally leading, or stepping into their divine purpose in exciting ways that will most likely inspire you just as much as they inspire me. And on day one will be the theme of the day is spelling it out. Speaking your truth creates quantum evolution for your clients and community. So saying everything that you're afraid to say in this lifetime is where your greatest edge of growth and empowerment is. And Isis and Hathor have this exceptional way of mentoring you in how to speak your authentic truth, how to speak in front of an audience and do it with grace and do it in a way that allows people to relate to you and to tap into the charisma of your higher self embodiment that has a powerful message that wants to be shared with the world. And whether that's being able to share with clients behind the scene or sharing with clients and community behind the scene as someone who's working as a part of a team or a movement or in a field that you love, that's maybe outside of a traditional spiritual leadership platform, or if it is under a spotlight and behind a microphone. Either way, it's saying what everybody really needs to hear, that we are all being mentored in by the Ascended Masters, having the courage and the faith to be true to the message that's in your heart. So we'll be receiving the Eye of Ra activation in our ceremonial gathering in Sedona. We had such a powerful Eye of Ra ceremony last year, and we're going to be claiming your ability to spell out how you are co-creating reality through the power of your voice together through very dynamic embodiment practices. We're going to be talking about oracular activism for collective awakening and how your intuition and embodying your higher self is an essential form of leadership at this time. It's the way that we make the greatest waves, the greatest change, waves of change at this time is when we're speaking from a place where we're downloading. That's what I call oracular activism, which you read about in Isis's chapter of the Sophia Code. We'll be practicing that one-on-one and collectively as a community. And what's so exciting is that the space that we create, our team, for these live events is so dynamic. It's charged as though there's lightning in the air, and you're gonna feel that lightning coursing through you, so that you're experiencing yourself with other leaders in ways that maybe you've always wanted to experience yourself, and you're gonna be experiencing the Ascended Masters through the living transmission in person in ways that you've never experienced the Ascended Masters before, because so much happens when we have this level of a community gathering coming together, and I'm channeling it live. It's just so powerful. So in that channeled space, we'll be talking about the ability to humbly channel your multidimensional leadership with so much power and grace that you'll be able to understand that this is your birthright and your privilege and your responsibility to lead in this way through Sophia Christ consciousness, and how to get over the ego fears that you're going to be egoic about it. What if the more that you stepped into your deepest, most powerful communion with Source, the humbler you became and the more effective you become as a leader? The container that we create in Sedona is going to teach you exactly what that looks like. For all of our entire team is going to be embodying that for you, as well as our community, because we have the most fabulous people in our community that are actually embodying these teachings after years of being in our mystery school. We're going to talk about the beauty way of Sekhmet. Sekhmet was considered an aspect of Hathor in ancient Egypt. I consider Sekhmet her own actual being, a key code all into herself. We're going to talk about fierce boundaries and how to create them with a loving voice in your leadership. And that's really important when you're stepping up to your divine divine purpose into leading others. It's not just being the blesser, it's also being the person that defines the boundaries so that people can feel safe enough to know that they can't take advantage of you, which means they're going to have to be turned back inward to do their own work within themselves. I think so many people think that leadership is about a leader doing it for the followers or the teacher doing something for the students, and that's not what real leadership is about. Leadership, according to the Sophia Code Mystery School curriculum, is about activating the sovereign divinity of others so that they can discover the leader within themselves. They can discover the healer within themselves. They can discover the creator, creatrix within themselves. They can learn their own process of their own self-mastery and their own higher self-embodiment. That's what we're talking about. And that's what's going to happen in Sedona for all of us, because every time we gather with a prayer this big, we all get initiated and activated even more deeply into our higher self-embodiment. We're going to be talking about invoking prosperity for your leadership to thrive. We're going to be getting really practical with Isis and Hathor in tools and techniques for really anchoring in what you deserve to receive for your divine purpose in your leadership. We're going to be talking about, or not just talking about, we're going to be embodying practices, dynamic workshopping and channeling, live Q&A mentorship on quantum time travel. How to heal the grief of ages. This is one of my favorite contexts of doing ceremonial work, is how to do multidimensional healing and activations across space and time for generations ahead and generations behind us, which is really important for leaders at this time. And we're going to also talk about interstellar ambassadorship, how Sophia Christ consciousness is not just for the activation of humanity, it's for opening our consciousness to be able to hear other species here on this planet that are also master teachers. There are so many different master teacher souls in the forms of animals as well as higher dimensional beings that we're here to be co-creating with. And through Sophia Christ consciousness, that's an easy thing to do if we're listening and we're paying attention to how much is being transmitted to us all the time. In Sedona, you'll be able to experience just how much access you have to information from so many loving sources for your leadership to thrive. We've had a couple of questions about our Sedona Conference coming up. I haven't stepped into my divine purpose yet. Will this conference help me do that? Absolutely. You spend 3 days with the Ascended Masters. We're going to not just be with Isis and Hathor. We're going to it's going to be October 16th through the 18th this year, 2019. Thanks for your question. And you can learn all about it on my website, kaia.com, under the events link on my website. What happens when you're in a crystalline container with Ascended Master? You are activated for 3 days straight. Every resistance that you could possibly let go of within 3 days is going to be let go during that time. You're going to quantum leap into empowered spaces using your voice, moving your body, connecting with other leaders and community members, being able to interface with myself, ask me live questions at the mic. There's no end to how much quantum growth that can happen for you, for stepping into your divine purpose, for becoming calm and still enough to access your next steps in a space that is truly activated enough to make that breakthrough that you've been praying about. You know, we often are afraid to step into our divine purpose because we're afraid of the uncomfortable growth edges that it's going to ask us to walk through. But I got to tell you what's more uncomfortable: being uncomfortably comfortable. When you resist your divine purpose long enough and you don't actually begin the process of serving others in some capacity, whether it's through a volunteer or private practice or community leadership or making a professional offering, however it is that you want to embody your higher self and be serving others, over time, the resistances are going to start to manifest in parts of your life that are going to be way more uncomfortable than not taking that next step forward. So that's what you get to explore in Sedona. You get to be around an entire community of people who are being brave enough to say yes to their divine purpose. You get to meet amazing people that are professionally leading all over the world, because that's just how we roll as a community. And you also get to be exactly who you are in that moment. You don't have to be more than who you are or less than who you are, because the transmission is going to invite you into even more of who you are and into even more of your professional potential if you're already leading. So that's what's remarkable about these live events, experiencing the living transmission of the Sophia Code at these live events. The living transmission meets you where you're at and takes you so much higher every single time. Every single time. That's why I keep doing it, because I'm just like, how is this even possible? This is so exciting for me to watch, to witness how it happens over and over again. Our next question that came in is, I'm already professionally leading others, but I would like to break through the next level of my offering and expand my reach. How will this conference support my next steps? Okay, so again, if you're mentoring with Ascended Masters, and the reason why they became Ascended Masters is because they've reached thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. That's why we go to mentor with the very best. That's why I dedicated my entire life to mentoring with the Ascended Masters. It's because I'm in training. I've already reached thousands upon thousands of people. And if that is your prayer too, that's exactly where you need to be mentoring, is with Ascended Masters. And the Sophia Code container is the ultimate container for mentoring with Ascended Masters. As soon as you walk through that door, as soon as you sign up for the Sedona Leadership Conference, you're going to feel the energy of that ceremony running to you like an electrical current. The ceremony has already begun. It's already going to be activating your professional offering and taking it to the next level. And as you spend 3 days in resonance with this living transmission and with your mentors in such a physical way, in such an uninterrupted sanctuary space, you will indeed not only upgrade it wherever you're vibrating at, it's going to go infinitely higher, but you're also going to receive your next steps for taking that quantum leap with the Ascended Masters, with your higher self, and with your community and all the people that you are in service to. You're good. Here's the thing. Leaders need to take time to be with other leaders. People who are dedicated to a cause need to take time to regenerate with other people that are also leading the way. That's what we saw in Hawaii when everyone came together. Everyone got to take a big sigh of relief because they were in the room with similar people that believed as much as they believed in what they were doing and who they are. And that is the other plus side, or I don't want to say plus side, like the great benefit of coming together live to experience the living transmission and mentor with the Ascended Masters live for your leadership and your professional offering. You are going to be refreshed. You're going to be regenerated. You are going to rest as you are also actively working on yourself. They use that in personal training. That's a term, like active rest, when you are flexing your muscles, but then you're stretching another part of your body, which means you are both growing and integrating simultaneously. That's what the living transmission does for leaders in this space. So I'm really excited about how many people we already have signed up. It's going to be a really lively event. It's going to be hot, and I'm really excited that it's coming up so soon. It's going to be almost a month from now, October 16th through the 18th. We also have a few spaces left for the VIP Immersive. That's a very intimate container that you can apply to be a part of, where you get to go really deep with me in a channeled mentorship space and other people who are out there actively leading on a very intimate mentorship environment. You can learn more about that at my website, kaiara.com, as well. Or email us directly if you'd like to set up a call with a team angel to learn more about either the conference or the VIP Immersive happening in Sedona. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for your patience and for hanging in there for the Hathor Pendant giveaway. It's been so beautiful to see all of your comments and all of your activations, and to feel you connecting with each other and supporting one another and loving one another and witnessing one another. And just, it's such an honor to be a part of your journey. Our whole team feels that way. Thank you for being a part of this community, and for the prayer of activating humanity's sovereign divinity to be this important for you as well. It's an honor to be on that same journey with you. So let's talk about this Hathor Flower of Life pendant. I brought an extra one. Today we're giving one away in solid brass. I actually had a mala made with the Hathor medallion, so I'm gonna just put it up close enough so you could see it. It's just stunning. I oversaw every last detail of how it was hand carved. I had such a deep prayer for the creation of this medallion. And then on the back, there is a flower of life, but wait, sorry, the video thing is a little tricky. It's not straight on. If you see it, it's spinning in a Stargate of Sophia dragon scales. One Sophia dragon set of scales going one direction, and then another Sophia dragon set of scales going the other direction. So simultaneously, what's happening in that Stargate is everything that's not serving you and your higher self embodiment is being spun out, while you are simultaneously spinning in and magnetizing to you all of the blessings that you deserve for your higher self embodiment. Hathor, my God, she was such a revolutionary. She was such a divine birther, where she was literally pulling a new paradigm right out of her heart and manifesting it before the eyes of others and teaching them how to live in this world, and not just in this world, but how to connect with beings from other planets simultaneously in the physical. She was such a powerful mentor of our human potential and where we can go through Sophia Christ consciousness in our leadership. And it's interesting because she is so multidimensional as a mentor that I actually decided, out of all the mentors, her face was the one that needed to be carved. Her face is the only face that's carved into any of the pendants in the Embody Your Sovereignty collection, because I felt the need, how powerful the need was to bring a face to this multidimensional mentor, who was able to quantum time travel and literally physically shapeshift in real time in front of her initiates, in front of her students. So we had Hathor carved as a young girl because this carving of her face in her youth represents that moment where she could have chosen a safer path, to not reveal to her community what a genius she was and how much she had to offer and how different what she had to offer was from what other people were offering in her community. And so this moment is recorded in this carving of that innocence that's in each of our hearts, that knows that we have a creative way to lead, a creative way to be seen, a creative way to serve others. And if we follow that calling, it's going to make a significant impact on the fabric, the quantum fabric of reality. Could even be instrumental in helping to birth this next golden age of miracles. So that's a little bit about why I chose to have Hathor's face carved onto her pendant. And it's taken from, I drew this while staring at one of the carvings from her temple in Dendara, Egypt, and wanted to bring that human likeness out of the Egyptian carving that I saw coming out of the temple. And so when you wear this pendant, it's an interstellar touchstone for opening a portal directly to Hathor as your mentor. It's guiding you in how to accept the limitless multidimensional teacher that you can be as a leader. It's uplifting your heart with her full support for your divine purpose and accessing your own creative genius in this lifetime. The Hathor Flower of Life Stargate Medallion also helps clear viral programming as well as patriarchal conditioning. What's interesting about the jewelry collection is I wanted to download ascension technology. I knew how much support we needed to break through in this lifetime because of how much I've had to break through, how much I've had to heal in my own life. This jewelry came out of a prayer. I was already wearing jewelry as medicine before I birthed this collection, but I wanted to birth a collection of jewelry that I knew was coming directly from the Ascended Masters and was transmitting the transmission literally into my chakras, literally into my body. And I was a little nervous, when it first was completed. Was this collection actually going to do what it was meant to do? And as soon as I put it on, I could feel the energy coming into my body. I could feel it going into my chakras. I could feel these pendants helping me to stay in my center and helping to deepen in my mental relationships with the key codes, whether I was reading the book or not that day. It was profound to witness how much of the transmission actually was literally carved into this beautiful jewelry. Stunning. Each pendant is actually two-sided, so you could wear it on either side. Okay, so it also strengthens your own multidimensional awareness as an interstellar ambassador of Sophia Christ consciousness and a part of this movement. It calibrates your throat chakra as a divine feminine Christ leader, and it helps you speak your manifestations into form. And it surrounds your entire being with a flower of life crystalline matrix to protect you and your heart's creations in a field of high frequency crystalline light. So when you're wearing the Hathor Stargate medallion, you're tapping into that creatrix birther or creator birther within you that came here to bring something completely fresh and new simply through your embodying your most authentic self and the higher self energies that came here to create through you in this lifetime, through your purpose, through your leadership, through the healing of your own life. That in and of itself is a birthing that this Hathor pendant is going to support you and to feel. Finally, I'm hearing from Hathor, she says, don't forget, it also attunes you with her ray of abundance. Hathor was an incredibly abundant, she was a goddess of abundance in Egypt. And so what it's attuning you to is that golden ray of worthiness. If you've struggled with self-worth as I have struggled with self-esteem issues my entire life. And when I mentor with Hathor and Isis, it's not to say that those feelings don't arise, but I have a pathway within my heart to know how to love myself and to accept myself and to remember the bar that I'm holding for myself of true worthiness. And that's where I deserve to be resonating in my thoughts about myself and what I deserve to receive for being of service. So as you wear the Hathor Stargate medallion, that is what is also going to be magnetically drawing to you all of the support and all the blessings and all of the resources to help you maintain that frequency of self-worth. We all need touchstones. I created these pendants as amulet touchstones for our spiritual practice. There are so many days that I don't actually go a day without wearing this jewelry collection because I know the power of it as ascension technology, and I just wear it every day. I wear the Stargates every day. I wear a wristlet every day. I'm wearing the Isis wristlet that says, daughter and son of the Most High. It is safe to lead. It is safe to be seen. I mean, the resonance of the Sophia Code words, literally hand carved into the jewelry, is transmitting those teachings into my body every day. So it's helping me in my own leadership embodiment every time I adorn myself with this collection, because that's what it was designed to do. It's adornments for priestesses and priests and leaders and teachers and healers and people that are out there being activists in this consciousness. So I think we're at that time where we're going to do the giveaway. Let's see, who do we got? I'm going to be receiving the winner through text messaging, so because there's no way I could go through the feed and actually identify what is what. So I'm going to go over and see what our team angel has. All right, I think we've got our winner for the Hathor Flower of Life Stargate medallion in solid brass. The winner is beautiful Amy Fountain has won our pendant. And if we could all appreciate and send some celebratory energy to Amy. Amy's been a part of our movement for quite some time, and we just love you so much and want to thank you for all of your support of the Sophia Code. And congratulations. Clearly Hathor is calling you into a much deeper relationship with her as a mentor. I know that this beautiful Stargate medallion is going to empower that relationship in new and exciting ways for your divine purpose and your spiritual leadership. And we're just so happy for you that that you've been blessed with this medallion today. And if you'd like to read more about the Hathor Flower of Life Stargate medallion, you can visit my website, kaiara.com, and check on the jewelry collection. And I want to thank everyone for being here live tonight with us. We're just so happy to support your journey, your own heroic human journey to embody your higher self, to make a difference in this world through Sophia Christ consciousness. And if you'd like to learn more about the opportunity that's available to you in Sedona this October 2019, feel free to call us, to email us about setting up a free angel call. We're happy to walk you through the steps. We have empowerment payment plans available.